All right, so when I'm working with students in my studio, they usually know these open position chords already, but they don't know that they're movable, and they don't know the fretboard. So if I ask them to play an A chord shape, but play a D chord, they don't know where to go. So I show them, the first way is you can take your A chord, we have to get it to D. So A, march it up, A sharp or B flat, B, C, C sharp, D, right? So we would put the capo at the 5th fret because the 5th fret is D. We're barring that with the capo. We're playing an A chord shape, but it's going to sound D, right? So the marching up method is one way to do it. And I'll have folks do that for a while, but inevitably it's the least consistent because they forget a sharp or a flat somewhere. So again, this is why you just need to know where the roots are, so you can just go there, use the root to tell you where to go, and then to apply the capo. So if I were to take this, if I said, hey, play a C chord, but I want you to do it in the key of, we got to get to the key of E flat. And I tell people, like, pretend you're working with an artist, your favorite artist, and they tell you, hey, this is in the key of E flat. You have to know how to get there and be confident you're in the right place, or it's not going to work out. You're going to get fired. So if we use the marching up method, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, or E flat. Inevitably, when we get into flat keys, it starts to confuse people. So this is why I think it's better. Visualize that C chord. Take either your first finger or your third finger to E flat. Apply the capo. So you're using this root system to just get you there, right? And then you apply the capo. So I would apply the capo at the 3rd fret, play a C chord, and it's going to sound E flat. If I did this with a D chord, you could march it up, D, D sharp or E flat. Inevitably, people get so used to marching forward that they keep going with the sharps, and they go D, D sharp, E, F, and they get all the way up here. Well, if you know just where to find the root, if you know you're looking for E flat, it's right there. This is a D note. This is an E flat note. So all I did is I looked for the root. Now I know where to put my capo. If I put my capo in the 1st fret and I play a D chord, the first ring open is capoed. That's an E flat note. My 3rd finger in the 4th fret is an E flat note. So this is what I was saying earlier about people forget that they can use the open string as a guide. When I look down at the neck, I know that's an E flat. I know that's an E flat. So I know my capo could go right there. And this could be true with any of the chords. And you'll see this get revealed more and more a lot as we go through the course. And I'm going to be very redundant and repetitive. I'm going to say these things over and over and over because I found that I have to, when I'm working with someone one-on-one, I have to remind them what to look for. And it's not because, it's not because people are dumb. It's because they don't know. And then when they don't know, they start getting anxious and they start panicking and they stop thinking through the process. They stop looking for root notes and then they start guessing. And when you're guessing, that's a pretty surefire way to wind up in the wrong key. So it doesn't matter if you want to play with your friends at a gathering or it's a party or whatever it is. You have to be able to get to the right key. You have to be able to figure out by what other people are playing. Don't assume that people know what key they're in. A lot of people are self-taught. A lot of people learn from their family and friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to fall in and play with them, you have to know how to determine if they're using a capo or playing bar chords or just playing. You have to be able to figure out what key they're in. And if you know your 1, 4, 5 chords in that key, whether you're playing bar chords or capo, whatever, you are going to be much more consistent and be on the right track. So that's why this course is designed this way. It really requires you as the student to take the time to think this through, play the exercises with me, play them by yourself, record yourself playing them in one capo position and move the capo around. So you have to play to your rhythm track. You'll find out real quickly you're not as consistent as a rhythm guitar player as you think you are, because now you have to play to your rhythm track. So the subdividing, the counting, all this stuff really comes into play, and it's really important. Again, none of us are really born with this. We have to learn it. And really, really good guitar players, people that are great lead players, they're really great rhythm players. Playing rhythm is super important. So just do yourself a favor and don't resist the process. Go through it patiently and slowly. Quiz yourself, hold yourself accountable. You have to be able to play these 1-4-5 progressions with a metronome or with another person or with you recording yourself. Just make a voice memo on your phone and play to that. And as we go through this, you'll see how much better you'll get very quickly. All right, so let's get started.